Hello. Great to be here again. YouTube channel Salt and Sand Studios coming to you from Vermont. Bit of a rainy day today. Today's focus is 4. Feels a little bit like Sesame Street. How many is 4? 4 fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anyway, the Fab 4, the Fantastic 4, fun with 4. Pick any kind of adjective and we'll move into it. Now, yoga and the Tibetan teachings tend to come and emphasize 3s. Things like triangles, things like 3 breaths in and out, chanting a mantra or reciting a mantra inside your head, generally speaking, is the volume is something divisible by 3. But 4 is such a cool thing in terms of the way it works with your hips in a standing figure 4, a seated figure 4, or a supine or lying down figure 4. Tree, Janu Shirshasana all has sort of a 4 shape to them. So it's a little bit of a hip opening, it's a little bit of a balancing, and it's also, as you know, always a little bit of an overall body workout. So we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Karen. We're going to find a comfortable seat, and then we're going to take our feet into a Baddha Konasana-like posture. So bound ankle pose, where the feet are together and the sitting bones and the heels are as close as you can get them to one another. You might place a block or something underneath your knees if it feels like it's too much on either your inner thighs or your hip creases, your hips. I'm going to forego those. And you're welcome to take your hands to your heart on your ankles, or maybe, and I'm not open enough quite to do it while sitting up straight, maybe the thumbs inside the foot arches and the fingers on your the tops of the feet. I'm going to sit up as straight as I can. I invite you to do so as well, without a lot of tension and effort. And tuck your tailbone forward. Shrug the shoulders up to the ears on a breath in. Press the shoulder blades behind you and drop them. Release the breath, the shoulders. Again, scooch the shoulders up. Inhale. And press them behind, release. One more time. Belly slightly in and up. Maybe the gaze is forward and downward, or maybe the eyes are closed. I today feel like closing my eyes, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. They're closed nice and lightly, softly. The jaw softens up to the ears, the back of the neck. We'll take a rotation of consciousness just in and around from the feet through the hips. Starting with the right foot. Notice that whatever you're experiencing, the sensations on the sole of the right foot, maybe you feel it pressed to the left foot. Maybe the left foot feels a little colder than the right foot. And sensations in the ankle on the right side. The shin and the calf, maybe you catch yourself in a squeezing of the calf. You want to perhaps soften that a bit. The right knee, not just the kneecap, but maybe behind the knee. What do you feel there, or underneath the kneecap? The inner thigh on the right leg. The quad, so the top of the thigh. The outer part of the thigh, especially where it meets the glutes. What do you feel there? Whatever you feel isn't bad or right or wrong or perfect or terrible. It just is. And right in the hip crease. The pelvis, moving toward the center of the body. The low back, if you're feeling a lot of pressure there, maybe you tuck your tailbone forward a little bit more and draw the top of the pelvis toward your rib cage upward. the hip crease on the left side, outer left thigh, maybe where it meets the glutes, inner left thigh, the knee, shin and calf, ankle, sole of the left foot. I'm checking now with all of your toes, both sides. Remaining here or crossing your legs. I'm going to go ahead and cross my legs. We'll bring to mind an intention or motivation for coming to the mat. I'm going to place the palms up on the thighs or the knees. Lift the heart a little bit like it's shining toward the sky and tuck your tailbone. And with that intention in mind, we'll go ahead and find Ujjayi breath, the breath of victory, creating a slight constriction at the back of the throat. So that on the inhale, it sounds a little bit like waves washing on a shore. On the exhale, it feels a little bit like fogging a mirror with your breath. The jaw is open, but the lips can be closed. Two more. Really fill the belly and the chest, and then really let them empty. Hands in your lap, maybe the fingertips cross a little bit on an inhale. Lift the energy from your belly all the way up toward the sky. Open the arms, create this bubble of energy around you. Hands come down by your sides. Into your lap and lift again. Breathing in on that lift and out on the bubble creation. We'll take it a third time, your cadence. Starting to feel the rotation of the shoulders. This time, as you bring the arms up overhead, we'll press the palms together. Working both sides into the earth, your arms as straight as possible, which might not be that straight. Mine are not super straight by any stretch. If you pardon the pun, we'll take a breath in and tilt over to the right. You might not tilt very far. Opening up the left side body, whale-sized ribs here. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, tilt to the other side. Inhale, lift up. Draw your hands to your heart. Bringing your intention once again into your mind. We'll celebrate it and surround ourselves with the sense of that intention, that attitude, that attribute, that behavior. Imagining that we could fill the room around us with this padding of intention for the remainder of our practice. And maybe some of that will follow us as we leave our mat. We'll do all that with the sound of Om. It's not required to chant, but you can imagine that you're having Om right out on your breath and exhale. Breathe in as fully as you can. We'll start in child's pose today before we move into our first four, as in all fours. So move into a belly and face down posture, knees really wide on your mat, the big toes touch, arms long in front, forehead resting on something. If it resists coming to the mat, you might place a prop under your chest and one under your forehead. You can either press the palms together overhead, or maybe press the palms onto the floor. Widening the fingers, settling in. Start to feel the opening in the hips here, which we invited in the beginning of class. Rock your head left and right as if you could bring your intention into your forehead, into your gray matter, into your third eye center. And as you increase the depth of the breath, the fullness of the breath, imagine it riding up and down the spine and spreading left hip to right hip to left hip. Drawing onto all fours, coming into our theme. Feet as wide as your knees, as wide as your hips, cats and cows. If you're unfamiliar, breath out, you press the floor away, scoop the belly in and drop your head, cat shape. The breath in, belly drops, gaze and hips lift, cow shape. Shoulders are away from the ears. You can add some movement into this if you like, maybe hip circles or movement side to side, or a rolling cat-cow. And we find stillness and stability. I'm going to move a little away from my mic. We'll stretch the left leg long behind us with the ball of foot on the mat. Start to open up the space where the toes meet the foot and the calf by rocking forward and backward. Pause with the shoulders over the wrist, float the left leg off the mat. Find balance, float the right arm in front. Bring the knee and elbow together, take your time, scoop your belly in, drop your head. Inhale, extend. We're starting to warm up the big muscles here. Pause here, drawing the belly in and the hips square. Drop your right hand, but keep the left leg floating, and keeping it off the mat. See if you can sweep it out to the side, to the left. Use the belly a lot. It might not stay very far from the ground. I can see mine is not. Doesn't matter. Left leg sweeps back. And it sweeps so it comes above the right calf. You might take a peek over your right shoulder and then drop the shoelace side of that left foot to the earth. Guide the front of your left hip toward your right heel. So we're in a sort of four shape, but the right shin is probably a little closer to the right glute than it would be in a regular figure four. If you like a little challenge here, you can tuck your left toes under, float your left knee off the mat, reach that heel behind you. This will help when we come to our standing figure four. Draw back up, 3 legs, knee to nose. Inhale, extend the left leg, drop the knee to the earth. Maybe a little wiggle, a little jiggle, whatever works for you here. Same thing on the right side. Right leg behind, ball of foot on the mat, rocking to open up all the places you can start to stretch here. The fabulous four. Right leg floats off the mat. Squeeze the glutes, draw the belly in, left arm floats in front. Balancing, powering up, active in the glutes. Knee and elbow come toward one another. Inhale, extend. Left hand comes down. Right leg sweeps to the right. Pause, lift. Use the belly. Sweep the leg around, over the left calf. Look over the left shoulder. Top of the right foot to the earth. Glide it out and back. You might draw to your forearms. If you did so on the other side, tuck the right toes under to lift the knee. adding a little complexity, a little bit of extra challenge. 3-legged table. Knee to nose. Extend. And knee to the earth. Hands walk forward a couple of inches. We're going to create our first 3 shape. Well, actually, it's not quite our first 3 shape. Our seated shape was 3. In downward facing dog. The mat, our legs, and then our sitting bones to our hands. Long lines. Pedal it out. Here, 1 is the loneliest number, so maybe our 3s and 4s. Take a little bit of that away. Walk to your hands. Find a forward fold at the front of your mat. Feet might be about bony hips with distance. Head is heavy. Check that the feet parallel the edges of your mat. Drop your head a lot. Hands to the shins, half lift. Use a breath out if you have a painful lower back. Full cycle of breath. Next breath, forward fold. Root to rise, feet attached to the earth. Unravel all the way to standing. A moment in mountain pose, hands by your sides. Arms float wide and up. Samasthihi, hands to your heart. Drop your hands, arms reach high. Breathe out, fold. Halfway lift. Forward fold. This time when you rise to the top and the arms lift up, you'll take the palms and press them together just like we did when we were seated. And a tilt over to the right. Right hand drops. But the left hand isn't reaching down, it's reaching up and over. Heart shines. Maybe the gaze lifts to open up the heart and the left shoulder a little bit more. Arms lift high. Press palms together, tilt to the left. Left hand drops. Arms lift high. Cactus-shaped arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades, open up the elbows, hands drop behind you. Keep the elbows bent as you lengthen the torso. Press the hips forward and lift the heart. Only then and only then. Only then and only then. You can draw your knuckles down if that feels okay. Find a modified chair pose, keeping your bind. Rise up to the balls of the feet. Sink down a little bit more. Draw the belly in. Draw the heels down. Fold, maintaining the bind with the hands. Maybe the knees are nice and soft. Hands release, half lift. Forward fold. Chair pose, Utkatasana. East-west pose, left arm forward, right arm behind you. Arms in front and twist the other way. Keep that belly strong. Low back, long. Arms lift overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. And a forward fold. We're going to rise back to standing. Primarily because I need to remove my outer layer. Mountain pose or Samasthihi, hands at your heart, your choice. Warming up. We're going to step the left foot to the back of the mat. So you're on the ball of the back foot. Find your balance. You might scooch that right foot out to the right. You're in a standing sort of triangle pose with the left heel lifted. Going to come into cactus shape arms and then lift the arms overhead. Make fists with the thumbs out. And on an exhale, bend your front knee, bend your back knee, bend your elbows. Pause here. Press back up, arms long. Exhale, front knee bends, back knee bends. You're coming into almost into a crescent warrior shape, but not much back bend in this. Rise back up. We're working to power up here. And one more time. Actually, we're going to do 4 because it's about the fabulous, fantastic, fun 4 today. Rise back up. One more time. Drop your back knee. If you're like me and now your right front knee is over your head of your toes, you're going to take more space. Drop your hands by your sides. Press the bony hips forward and maybe sink a little deeper into your front knee. Press the front heel and the top of your left foot into the earth. If you like, the arms can float overhead or come back into a cactus, finding your back bend. Left arm forward, right arm behind. Left hand down, right arm high. Right hand down, half split. You can use your hands to move your right foot forward. If you're not overly stretchy like me, it's better to have your left hip over your left knee than toward your heel. Heart forward. Float the ball of the right foot off the mat. Continue to press the shoelace side of the back foot into the earth. Front foot down. Hands come inside that foot. Tuck your back toes under. Lift your hips and walk to the long edge of your mat. You can tell from the postures we're taking that we're working quite a bit on opening up the hips. Hands under your shoulders, halfway lift. Shoulders away from the ears toward your hips, and then your sitting bones reach behind, fold between the shoulders, and maybe flip your fingers to the opposite side of the mat and walk them through your feet. Nod your head, shake your head if you like, take a sway left and right. I'm going to walk toward the back foot, so my back will be facing you now, finding a runner's lunge, and then pressing into the front foot to rise up the bottom half of the body in a crescent warrior shape. Hands can come by your sides to start or at your heart. And then we're going to lift the arms, straighten the front leg. Make fists of the hands with the thumbs out. Exhale, cactus arms, bend your front knee, bend your back knee. We'll take 4 of these. Rise, press back up. Exhale, drop the back knee a bit, not all the way down. Open up the elbows. Rise back up. 2 more to go. Keep the belly drawing in and the pelvis forward. Once we're in this last posture, we slowly drop the back knee, untuck the toes, hands by the sides, Anjaneyasana. Check that the back foot is not sickling. If it is, like mine was, see if you can work to straighten it out by pressing the top of the big toe into the earth. Arms can reach overhead. Shoulders rotate, pinkies face one another. We take an east-west twist, right arm forward, left arm behind. Sending the gaze toward the left thumb. And drop the right hand, float the left arm high. Half split. Step the left foot back to the earth, hands inside that foot. Back toes tucked under, walk to the long edge of the mat once again. We're going to bring the heels in and the toes out. You might shorten your stance a little bit. Coming into bent knees, dropping your seat, temple, or goddess, name it what you like. Cactus arms once again. Tuck that tailbone, find your strength. 5-pointed star, rise up. Woo! Exhale, cactus arms, drop your tail, bend your knees. Spread your toes nice and wide, then squeeze the shoulder blades together. I recognize those are two very different parts of the body. Press into the outer edges of the feet. Rise back up. Goddess pose, temple pose. 5-pointed star, and because we're doing 4 today, we'll come back. Bring your hands together in front. Bring one hand into a fist and cup the other hand with it. Draw your heels together a little bit more. Sink down. Press up, arms overhead. Exhale, sink down. Press back up. Belly in, tailbone down and forward. Sink back down, squat. And once again, arms overhead. And sink back down into your squat. We're going to remain here. Lift the heels off the mat, maybe one at a time, maybe both at a time, and see if you can sink a little further. Draw the heels down, hands to your hips, straighten up, and step to the front of your mat. We're going to do a couple more sun salutations, at least one including the vinyasa, maybe another chair pose, before we work into our standing figure 4. Inhale, sweep your arms high. Breathe out for a fold. Halfway lift, forward fold. Rise to standing. Chair pose, Utkatasana. We're going to play around with our balance and prep for our standing figure 4. So float the left knee upward, the left foot off the mat. Keep it active. Use the belly a lot. Use the right glutes. Bring the left foot down. Bring the right knee up. That was a little harder today for me. Bring the right knee down. Inhale, rise to standing. Breathe out for your fold. Ardha Uttanasana, lift halfway, get really long and strong. Exhale, forward fold, step back, high plank. We'll pause here. Stretching out, really feeling it. Maybe coming to downward dog in between. Peeling forward, high to low plank, to a back bend, to downward dog. 4 breaths. Walk your hands back toward your feet, a forward fold at the back of your mat. Take any bind you like, a yogi toe lock, Padahastasana. Arms around the legs or the shins. Rise back up to standing. Arms sweep high. Exhale, hands to your heart. We're going to take a sequence that includes a standing figure 4. And then when we end at the top of the mat, or before we end at the top of the mat, we will find another round of standing figure 4. So you can start with your hands on your hips. Let's go ahead and float the right knee up. Find your drishti. Bend your left knee and cross your right knee above it, your right ankle above it. Press that right knee away and down. Draw the belly in. If you like, hands can come to your heart, and your forearms might come to your shins. And if your balance is wobbly like mine is today, don't worry about falling out of it. Right foot is active. As you rise up, draw the knee up, reach the leg in front, and step the leg forward, sweep into airplane, bird, warrior 3. Rise up, press tall, left knee in toward your chest. Right knee softens, cross the left ankle above the right knee. Standing figure 4, press that left knee away and down. Belly in, maybe your forearms come to your shin. Maybe you fall out of it like I just did. Perfectly imperfect. Body doing what it wants to today. I'm working to find my drishti. Press back up, knee into your heart. Leg long. Left foot steps, float into your bird or airplane. Steady gaze, steady breath. Foot active, heart open. Lift your right knee to your chest and bring the foot back down, shake it out. So for me, that was an interesting journey because this morning my balance was working in a way that made sense to me. And then I got to my mat and it's working in a different way. So bring your hands to your side, sweep them up high, hands to your heart. Chair pose, Utkatasana. This time we'll start with the right knee coming in and up, steady gaze. Standing figure 4. Maybe you sink down a little bit more. Maybe you find an arm balance. Rise back up, knee into your heart. And the foot returns to the mat, shake it out. We'll take that to the other side. Hands to your heart. Shift into the right foot, the left knee in and up. Sinking into the right knee. Cross left ankle above right knee and press that left knee away and down. Forearms to your shins or an arm balance. Press to standing, knee up, and the foot returns to the mat. Yeah, shake it out. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift. Forward fold. Step the left foot as far to the back of the mat as you can. Starting with a runner's lunge. Float the belly energy away from the right thigh, even if they're still connected physically. Draw your shoulders toward your hips. Bring your back foot parallel to the back of the mat. Right hand inside your right foot. Really press that left leg long and peel open that left arm. Maybe you use the hand first to glide up the inner right arm, up to the shoulder, across the collarbones, and we find an extended side angle. Left arm is like a magic wand, your Harry Potter or Hermione Granger, lifting up into warrior 2. Woohoo! Gazing over that middle right finger, flip your front palm and take a reverse. Right now your hips should be open enough that you can start to feel the right knee moving away, out to the right. Warrior 2. And reverse. Warrior 2. One more time, reverse. We're going to come into our extended side angle once again. We'll move into a lizard, drawing to the ball of the back foot, and then drop that left knee to the earth. Heel toe it out, the right foot out to the right. Keep the toes and the heel parallel. Nice length front and back. Maybe you stay with the hands right under the shoulders. Perhaps you find a twist with a quad stretch, or you could bring the forearms to a block or the mat or some other prop. Peel the right foot open like a book. Hands press back to the mat, as does the right foot. And we step the left foot outside the left hand, wide-legged forward fold. Heel toe the feet back in toward one another. Rise to standing. And find your sunset, folding softly over your legs. Lying flat back, Ardha Uttanasana, Uttanasana, forward fold, right foot way to the back of the mat, runner's lunge. Find that runner's lunge with a steady balance. Bring the whole right foot parallel to the back of the mat so it's planted firmly on the mat. Left hand inside your left foot. You're coming to your fingertips there to peel open. Right hand all along the inner left arm to the shoulder. Heart starts to open. Right hand crosses the collarbone, tucks to the right shoulder, and then opens up. Warrior two. Front palm flips, reverse. Warrior two. Reverse. One more time, warrior two. Open up the left ribs, reverse. Windmill the arms back to your extended side angle. Back hand drops to the earth. Come to the ball on the right foot and drop your knee. Make sure there's plenty of space front to back between the left heel and the right knee. Left foot moves over to the left. And you take whatever variation you took on the other side for your lizard. Twist, quad stretch, low down lizard, low rider. Hands drop back to the mat. We move into a tabletop and Karen's favorite back bend. So find your tabletop nice and sturdy, long spine, tailbone tucked. Keep the hips right over the knees as you press the shoelace sides of the feet to the earth. Anahatasana, inchworm pose. Hands walk forward like a puppy dog or a cat, finding the place they want to rest. And the rest is in the forehead, the chin, or the chest, or the chin and the chest. Elbows reach out to the sides and bend if the shoulders are a little grumpy or cranky here. Return to your intention. And let your intention sort of connect with the earth and create a softness behind your heart. That space behind your heart is where all of the goodness around you gets absorbed in. And that in turn surrounds your heart, giving it warmth and love and caring and all kinds of goodness from outside, whatever's floating out among the world, the other beings of the world. Tuck your tailbone, draw it into child's pose 1, Balasana 1. So bring your knees together, sitting bones toward your heels, top of your head onto the earth so you're looking at your knees. And the arms can sweep around, connecting with your ankles or your feet. Loosen up. Release. Let it go. We rise up, come to a seat. Maybe moving toward the middle of the mat for our twist. Always appropriate after a back bend. We're going to take a sort of figure 4 in Janu Shirshasana into a twist first. So right hand behind, right knee is outward, and we sit up really tall. Left hand can be outside your right knee or at your ankle or shin. Breathe in. And twist to the right, lower the shoulders, gaze moves way to the right, as far to the right as the head can move, and then the gaze maybe can move further. As you return front and center, square your heart over your left knee and find a fold over your leg. You could bend your knee if need be. Rise back up, use your belly. We're going to take a twist to the other side. Left hand behind, right hand outside your left thigh. Belly in and out, spine nice and long. Draw front and center. Switch the shape of your leg to right leg long. Left knee bends. Adjust your sitting bones if need be to square up the hips. And we take that twist to the left. You might find you can go deeper now. Front and center. Center of the chest toward the right knee. Fold over your right leg. Rise back up, twist over to the right. And front and center, left foot onto the earth. There should be space, probably 2 fists distance between the foot and the right leg. Draw the right knee into your chest. Give it a good squeeze. Sit up nice and tall as you can. And cross the right ankle above the left knee. You might need to adjust your left foot a little bit. The idea here is both feet are active. And if you need to, you can hold on to the right foot and press it into active state. Hug the right knee upward a little bit and then press it away with your hand. You can also, if you're feeling a little bit stretchier, you can hug up your shin like a baby. And if that feels okay, you can always lengthen your left leg onto the ground. You're aiming to send your heart toward your shin and your shin toward your heart of the one of the raised leg, the shin of the raised leg. And then we find a little rocking of that baby, that little doll or puppy or whatever you might envision, or maybe it's just your shin and your knee and your foot. Find some circles. And lengthen the leg onto the earth. Find a fold over both legs. Lift back up. This time solo the right foot onto the earth. Our seated figure 4 on this side. I'm not quite as stretchy here. So I will not be hugging the shin up, but I am going to send the right leg to the earth. So that gives me more space to find the circles in the hip. We're going to tuck the right foot back to the earth and bring our hands behind us. Come all the way down to the forearms and then to the earth for our supine figure 4. Bring your shoulder blades to the earth. And here again, like when you were seated, you could just press the left knee away from you, or you might gather the right thigh and or the right shin inward. See if you can avoid arching your neck So tuck your chin toward your chest. If you have lifted the right leg off the earth, activate both feet and press the left knee away from you using your elbow. Feet to be active even if the right foot is on the ground. Place the right foot on the earth. Shift your hips over to the right and then drop both knees to the left, finding a twist. You can flop your arms out, capital T-like. Draw your chin and your gaze over to the right. Huge breath in. Generous breath out. Bring the sole of the right foot back to the mat, knee pointed to the sky. Unwrap. Shift your hips so that the hips and shoulders are squared up. This time the right ankle crosses above the left knee. Our supine figure 4 on this side. Sole of the left foot onto the earth. Squidgy the hips to the left. Drop the knees to the right. Your twist. Left foot returns to the earth, right foot returns to the earth, hips square up with the shoulders. One final posture or movement that might be legs up the wall, happy baby, knees in toward your chest for a squeeze. Supta Baddha Konasana, so many beautiful choices. You might enjoy Supta Baddha Konasana or happy baby because your hips have been worked quite a bit today. Find a little rocking left and right if you're in a knees toward the armpits or knees toward the chest shape. Maybe a flying Baddha Konasana before you move to your final resting posture. And make your way into your Shavasana shape. Wherever you go, make sure it's comfortable on your back. Your shoulder blades are kissing the earth and the palms face up. Feet are relaxed. Big, huge breath in. Complete breath out. If the thoughts pop in, which they often do because we're human, give a little handshake and let them be. As you invite the breath to deepen, bring movement back into the fingers and toes, and then maybe the legs draw together and the arms reach overhead. A full body pencil stretch. Reach on the breath in. Release on the breath out. Gently roll onto one side. Maybe you bend your knees first. And come back to your intention. Consider how you might bring that into play once you leave your mat today. Let the head be heavy as you press your way up to a seat. Press your hands together at your heart. Imagine they found their home there as the heart reaches toward the thumb knuckles and the thumb knuckles toward the heart. Bring your Ujjayi breath back into play. And before we join in an Om, whether that's silent or out loud, consider someone or some ones, or maybe a country or a region to whom you would like to dedicate the merits of this practice. And we'll let them fly outward, touching all of those in need that we are here to dedicate to honor, and to support our fellow beings. Breath in. The knuckles connect right at your center forehead. May all beings be happy. May they be free from suffering. May they live in peace. Namaste. Thanks to each and every one of you for practicing, for sharing in the practice, and for joining me to practice. I hope you have a wonderful remainder of your day, and I hope to practice with you again either on YouTube or live here in our studio in Warren, Vermont. If you choose to do so, you may donate for this class. Otherwise, it is open. Donation, there's a donation button if you head to the yoga section of saltandSandstudios.com. Thank you.